could it be the case that the more confident TED speakers are doing more gestures because they're less nervous?
Hmm?
So is it about nerves? And the less confident, more nervous TED speakers are doing less gestures just because they're self-soothing a lot and they're kind of closing off their body. Is confidence the thing here? Is it nerves?
I don't think so. I think it's about engagement. So I think most TED speakers, and I watched these TED Talks, they're all good. All of them are good, and some of them are experts in their field. The difference is, do I want to watch their good? It is hard for me as a viewer to pay attention for 18 minutes with someone who didn't use enough gestures. It was like physically hard for my brain to pay attention. I think those speakers, whether good or not, had over-rehearsed and rehearsed out their hand gestures, or were holding a podium, or were holding a clicker too hard. So I actually think that it's less to do with the speaker's nerves or confidence, and it's more to do with, are they gonna let themselves use their hands to explain their points, and that becomes more engaging.
One of the things I've noticed on this podcast is people who are using their hands are more expressive. And if they're more expressive, there's likely to be more sort of intonations in their voice. And if there's more intonations, it's more engaging. And if it's more engaging, then it's more retentive for the algorithm. And if it's more retentive for the algorithm, it's suggested more. If it's suggested more, there's more views.
Yes.
So I would like to tell my guests, all the past and particularly future guests, that if you have more expression in what you're saying and more intonations in your voice, then our show will grow.
Okay. Let's talk about two things here. One is we did a test on my YouTube channel and found that if we used a thumbnail of me doing any hand gesture, it didn't even matter what it was. It could be this, it could be this, it could be this. Any hand gesture, that got more clicks. People even in the thumbnail like to see the hand gesture even more than my crazy facial expressions. We tried both. So yes, we are, because if you see a thumbnail of me, holding up two, you're like, well, what two things is she talking about? What is it? So we like it shows competence. And the second thing is that vocal variety is an incredibly important aspect of charisma. We're talking about gestures, but there is a feedback loop here. That the more, like if I were gonna sit on my hands for this interview, you would notice my facial expression would get less charismatic, my vocal tone would be less charismatic. It's really hard to be charismatic without movement. Vocal variety is a critical aspect of both warmth and competence.